Hello, everyone. I'm Tam, and we're back with another motivational talk. You know what you must do. There are different times in throughout your life where you feel kind of stuck, and you don't have an answer, so to speak. I think that's a total lie. Everyone has enough awareness to know what to do next. Whether or not you want to believe that to be true is a different story. For example, let's say you're aware that your job is very toxic, because you're eating a lot of junk food after hours, during the weekend when you don't have to work the job, you still feel like exhausted from it. Just thinking about next week being in the job is so like exhausting. You don't even want to do anything this weekend. Or for example, you're aware that one of your parents is very abusive because like your dad may be an alcoholic, and he kind of like sometimes he's nice to you when he's drunk, sometimes he kind of beats you and so on. So it's kind of like back and forth the kind of relationship. Or you're aware that you're kind of walking down a road that you don't want to commit to. For example, you sign up for a engineering degree, a chemical engineering degree, and now you want to change your mind because it's not really what you want to do anymore. But however, you kind of like so deep in it. You're like the last you're at the senior level, so you're like 1 year before graduating. So you're kind of deep in this, and you don't want to kind of pull out, so to speak, or change course, even though you're aware that it's not exactly the way you want to go down. So anyway, different examples, and the main kind of like thread around all of these is that you're aware of this, like you're totally aware of the situation. However, you don't want to believe it to be true, or you don't want to believe it to be the case because it's kind of hard to believe in things that you are. It can be hard to believe in things that you're aware of. The gap between your awareness and belief is like an ocean, and between your belief and actions are like a stepping stone. So unless you learn to believe in your own awareness, or I guess see things the world they really are, you can never really take action to do anything about it to resolve it. So, for example, if you don't accept the fact that you don't want to be a chemical engineer, you can never really see the next step, next options. Okay, perhaps I can instead be a chemistry teacher, or perhaps I can like change into something very similar, like biology or something. So you don't see the next step because you haven't taken the first step, which is to understand, which is to accept your own awareness of your personal situation. It's not something that anyone wants to do because it's kind of hard to do. For example, like last year, I realized that my job was kind of stressful, and I didn't want to really do it anymore. I kind of saw that the path that this was going to go down was really not something I want to commit my time and effort to, because I was already kind of working overtime to kind of just pull things through. So I realized this is not the way I want to continue as is. So I resigned from my position, just kind of left because I didn't want to do this. And now I'm starting to do my own thing, like YouTube and other things, because I want to do something more meaningful in my time, and also to be my own kind of boss, so to speak. So I don't have to so I won't be in a position where I am doing something that really that doesn't contribute to my end goal anyway to begin with. So I was not able to see the next step, which is to do my own. I was not able to see the next step, which was to do my own thing. By if I was not able to do the first step, which is to quit my job. So by taking the first step there, I saw the next step available to me. Sometimes it's how it is. Sometimes you can't see the entire thing, so you kind of have to take a leap. You kind of have to take a leap of faith on yourself to kind of see what comes next. And it's definitely a scary moment because you may realize, whoops, like I can't really go back now, even if I want to. So I kind of have to stick with it. However, the pain of sticking with the pain of sorry, the pain of doing something, the pain of walking down a path that you're already unfulfilled with to begin with, so you're not really happy anyway, compared to the pain of like having to make something work new, something kind of new, something kind of fresh, try to make something kind of happen for you, going down a path that you are kind of like more or less way more fulfilled compared to the other path is a clear choice in my mind.